Yeah, I welcome everyone to this great session. My name is Sonal Sharma, and I'm very excited to moderate this session. I'm a MuleSoft ambassador and associated with MuleSoft community for many years. I'm MuleSoft meetup leader as well for Women Who Mule for APAC region, and I welcome you all to join the group. It's not restricted to women only. In fact, most of the time we have a lot of male participants. So I'll mention the link in the chat so that you guys can join in. Currently, I'm working as associate director for Capgemini, and now I'm very excited and privileged to moderate this session. And I welcome our speaker, Lawrence Fitch, and I request him to introduce himself to our audience.
All right. Thank you so much. All right, everyone. Thanks for joining today. It's been a great packed session of multiple different clouds. So hopefully, I can excite you towards the end with a little bit about how I've been using Slack, Sales Cloud, and ChatGPT together. So who am I? I'm co-founder of Brid. We're the only Slack-focused consultancy and SI in the whole of the APAC region. One of the reasons for that being I was actually previously working at Slack, which you may see from my t-shirt. So we launched the business about 2 or 3 months ago with another co-founder who was also at Slack. I was part of the founding sales team here in ASEAN and was at Salesforce for over 5 years. Came in through Datarama and also worked on Interaction Studio as well. So 11 years experience selling SaaS tools and background before Salesforce was advertising and MarTech. So what are some of the challenges that we find companies are facing today that these specific platforms together can solve? I think, if I was to ask anyone on this call today how many browser tabs you have open, that there's an overwhelming amount of enterprise applications. But the difficulty is that a lot of them are not connected in one hub to manage those system notifications like your email pinging you and the human notifications like someone messaging you on instant messenger. So companies are looking at the moment, to reduce IT spend, see if they can consolidate that and get the most out of a lot of the platforms that they're investing in. And with AI coming into, all of these different platforms, we want that to be coming into the system of engagement that users are interacting with. And I would like to say that system of engagement should be Slack. So a bit about my life before Slack. So before I joined Datarama, which was a Slack first company, I think I was even using Skype back then, and then moved into Salesforce and actually started working in Slack at Datarama, but then Slack was taken away from us, funnily enough, and we were using a number of different tools like WhatsApp and Google Chat, and I found a very disjointed journey, of getting things done and multiple context switching, and then thankfully, a couple of years into my Salesforce career, they saw the light, and we actually were there when they acquired Slack. So I was very excited to be part of that team because I knew the productivity it could gain. And really, we've been talking about it today, about how Slack can be that digital HQ for all of your system engagement layers. So many apps are already connected to it, and it's much more than just messaging. And now with generative AI and bringing in, some of your key tools like Sales Cloud, you can start to do some really amazing things, which are saving you, hundreds of hours a week across the business. So I think one common misconception, I guess, is that Slack is for developers, right? Okay, well, we use WhatsApp in our business. Maybe the development team use Slack. Why should I, as a salesperson, or you could take that across many other different job roles, like marketing, like operations, for example. Why should I use Slack? Well, One of its strongest points is the applications that are pre-built into it, and of course now with Slack coming together with Salesforce, and that product alignment becoming a lot closer, you can see that if you just do a quick type within Slack, your Slack console, you'll see there's a lot of out-of-the-box connections already there to start bringing in basic and more complex Salesforce data. So I'll stop here and just kind of pause and tell you how we use Slack today. Obviously I was using it at Salesforce not too long ago, but since setting up the business, since launching it, myself and my co-founder, we have already connected our Sales Cloud. We have the leads coming in, so we have a channel which updates us on all of our key opportunities. So instead of having to like leave Slack to know that an opportunity stage has gone from a 2 to a 3, I can actually get that information to me in the place where I interact day to day, and that's in Slack. It also allows me to bring in things like website leads and leads from different locations, maybe through something like a webhook, in with other leads that we might have through like Pardot coming in from the website. So it enables us to, all kind of be on the same page together, and start to do things, within Slack that has a bidirectional sync with Salesforce. So, for example, one of the bugbears of every salesperson's, day to day is to actually update opportunities. So we're getting much more closer to being able to do a lot of those, manual tasks that a salesperson or a Service Cloud rep would have to do, like updating a Salesforce opportunity and doing that directly from within the Slack console when you've connected either the out-of-the-box Salesforce tool or you've built a custom application to do that. And look, Salesforce is really doubling down on this investment. It's the biggest investment they ever made into a SaaS platform, and they've very recently released something called Sales Elevate or Sales Home, where as a salesperson, what you're going to be able to do is come in and have an almost curated experience for you in terms of, some key metrics. So rather than, again, having to leave my Slack, window, which is my digital HQ, which is where work gets done, I'll be able to see things like, how I'm tracking towards my target, how I'm being able to progress towards my pipeline, and how many days are left in the quarter. It's about bringing things into Slack that make the most sense so that I can get my job done quicker and more productively. And with the rise of large language models and GPT-based decisions, we want to bring those also into what we're doing, whether that be in a sales pursuit or just whether that be in the actual day-to-day managing of our Slack. So one thing that people can often mention when they're talking about Slack is that the great part of it is that the search functionality lets you find so much information. If you join a new account channel, for example, let's say you've been given a new account, there may be literally hundreds and hundreds of reams of text in there, and it can take you a lot of time to work out what's going on there. So what we're starting to see now is both with third-party applications and with which are either run on ChatGPT or their own model, they're starting to bring in things around summarizing and changing the way that you can speak and interact through GTP-like models. So the first one I'm going to talk to you about is something called Felix app. So Felix uses generative AI to basically improve your writing, improve your context, improve your style. So this is an app that you can download from the Slack App Store today. So we'll put a couple of links in to these apps if you want to start trying them out. But essentially, you can type in, backslash Felix, and you can take your original message and start to change the context of that message, maybe reword it, and all of this is using, as I say, ChatGPT in the background to enable you to maybe rephrase the way you're speaking to a colleague, a customer, or one of your channels. Another one is Spoke, which I was alluding to earlier, which allows you to summarize busy channels and long threads. So let's say, for example, you go away on holiday and someone's been looking after your patch, or maybe you've gone on extended leave, like maternity or paternity leave, which is something that happened to me recently. And you come back, and obviously a lot has happened in the channels in which you're working in. So tools like Spoke are going to allow you to summarize those busy channels and come up with action points and discussions on how you can then quickly get up to speed without having to manually kind of scroll through thousands and thousands of messages while you've been gone. And of course, the holy grail, which is what many people in Slack are waiting for, is for the official chat GPT app to be released. So this is in beta at the moment, and there is a timeline for this to be released. I would say hold tight. There's going to be a lot of information on around this topic in Dreamforce about this release, and it's going to be the native functionality. OpenAI are not afraid to say that they are Slack users themselves, which is an interesting concept, because I think a lot of us know that there's a large investment there with Microsoft, but it just goes to show that a company like OpenAI, who are specifically tech first, for example, they use Slack to get everything that they need to do done, and they of course have integrated Slack into ChatGPT as well. So we'll be looking for that being released soon. So of course, on the topic of this, I went over to OpenAI and asked it, what are some of the benefits of Slack, Salesforce, and ChatGPT working together? And these are some of the prompts that it came back with. So like I mentioned earlier, it's all about that collaborative sharing and insights. So, easily exchanging data between Salesforce and Slack, meaning that you can get better decision making on what's going on in your accounts, and not having to context switch constantly between different windows, right? The other part is about hyper personalized engagement. So what it enables you to do is create more tailored sales content. So the way that I sell is very much through Slack as well. So I have most of my customers that I speak to are in Slack as well. So what I can do is leverage the insights that I have around the channel insights, but also the insights that are coming through Salesforce, and then use ChatGPT to create plans of how I would approach that customer, and doing that, as I say, all within Slack without having to leave that window. Having them together again, it's about reducing that manual work of data entry for sales reps. So creating like triggers so that you can keep your teams informed of stages being updated. And I think the final part is being more data and insights driven. Obviously these natural language queries, you can extract data from outside of Salesforce, but also within Slack channels, and allows you to really have more connected and fruitful conversations with your customers, rather than spending as much of the time on like the research behind them, obviously than you would do before. So I think this has been mentioned before, but I'm the Slack community lead for Singapore, alongside Fanija, one of the other contributors, and please, we'd love you to join today. You can see that all across APAC, there's hundreds of different different communities you can join. So feel free to scan, and I think we'll add the link in as well to join your local Slack community. And what that enables you to do is there's a massive Slack community workspace. I think there's over 10,000 members in there. So if you're interested in anything around Slack and AI, which there is a channel in there for, or building workflows or building custom applications, Slack and Salesforce, there's a channel there for it. So if you want to join 10,000 other Slack admins and champions across the world, I would definitely say to join the Slack community. And finally, if you want to connect with me on LinkedIn, feel free to. And if you're, interested in any questions around Slack and how it can work for your business, I'm all ears and would love to connect with you. Cool. So I'll pause there and see if there's any questions, and hopefully you can answer any that have been shared already.
Thank you, Lawrence. I just see a few comments from Prey Patel about Spoke AI. It's a great app and it summarizes the feature really helpful. And I have also put some of the links which Lawrence was mentioning during the session about the apps and about Slack community, Singapore Slack community, and also if anyone want to connect to the Lawrence later, they can connect. I have also mentioned your LinkedIn as well in it. And please, guys, if you have any question, you can just write it into the chat. So I'll just pause for a sec over there if anyone wants to ask any question. And yeah, so seems like everyone is very excited, and there are a few comments which say super session, Lawrence, most excited for integration of Slack and GPT. So I echo that, and I really appreciate, Lawrence, your time and insight about the Slack. Tell us it's not just for the developer, it's way more. It has opened my eyes as well, so definitely, guys. I welcome you all to connect with Lawrence, to join the community. I have also shared the Women Who Mule community, and I'll share my LinkedIn as well. So that's pretty much it, if everyone is happy about it.
All right.
All
Thanks,
right.
everyone. See you
Thanks.
later. Bye.
Thanks everyone for joining the session. Really appreciate it. Hope you have a good insight about the Slack. All right. Thanks everyone. See ya.